All right, today we're going to talk about something huge in the world of AI. It's a pretty radical new vision for its future. And look, it has nothing to do with faster chips or bigger models. It's about who gets to define what intelligence even is. Let's dive into the Sovereign Intelligence Manifesto. So it all kicks off with this really powerful line. Just let that sink in for a second. The world's artificial intelligence speaks with one accent. What does that even mean? It suggests that AI has a point of view, a single, dominant one, that completely shapes how it sees and interprets the world. Okay, so let's really break down what this means. The manifesto argues this isn't just some small technical problem. No, this is a full-blown crisis, a crisis of cultural representation.
Here's the core issue, right? We think of AI as this all-knowing thing, but really it's just a mirror. And right now, that mirror is reflecting a tiny, tiny slice of our world. Its training data is so overwhelmingly from one perspective: Western, urban, English-speaking. So yeah, it gets the nuances of Silicon Valley for sure, but ask it about local economic practices in, say, rural Peru, it's completely lost.
And there's a name for this, a really powerful one: digital colonialism. This is so much deeper than just getting weird search results. Imagine asking an AI to explain a complex, ancient tradition, and it tries to explain it through a completely foreign Western filter. It doesn't just get it wrong, it effectively erases the true meaning. It overwrites it.
Yeah, and this really shows you the disconnect. When an AI doesn't have the right context, it doesn't just say, hey, I don't know. Nope, it makes stuff up. We call it hallucinating. It literally invents answers based on its limited data, and in doing so, it filters out all the nuanced histories, the local economies, the thousands of diverse languages that make up our actual lived reality.
So how in the world did we get here? Well, the manifesto points a finger directly at this flawed model that came out of Silicon Valley. This idea of treating all of human knowledge like it's just oil, a raw material to be extracted.
And you can see the two competing visions right here. On one side, you've got the extraction model, harvest the wisdom of everybody and use it to enrich just a few. But on the other side, you've got the sovereign model, and this is a total game changer. It says, hold on, that knowledge, that data, it belongs to the communities who lived it. They should be the ones in charge.
Okay, so what's the solution? How do we fix this? It requires a fundamental shift in power, moving people from being just passive users of a system to becoming active owners of the intelligence they help create.
So how does this actually work in practice? Well, it's all built on three pillars. First, sovereignty. This is huge. It means your data, your culture's knowledge, it stays with you. No more scraping. Second, accuracy. This means replacing AI's random guesswork with real, verified cultural context. And third, equity. And this is so important. If you help build the intelligence, you own a piece of it. Simple as that.
Now let's zoom in on that second pillar, accuracy, because this is kind of the secret sauce. The core mechanism is called proof of culture. You can think of it as a verification system, but for culture. It checks information right at the source. The goal is to translate entire realities, not just swap out words. And that's how you protect against all this misrepresentation. Great principles, right? But the big question is, how do you actually build it? The manifesto proposes something called the leapfrog strategy. The idea is simple. Instead of fighting for a seat at the old table, you just go build a whole new one. So here's the game plan. You partner with local universities and institutions, people on the ground in the global south. You incentivize the real experts, the teachers, the historians, the storytellers, to document their wisdom. The tools to do this, they'll be open source, but the data itself is protected. And crucially, contributors get paid directly in real money. This isn't charity, this is building infrastructure. And to kickstart this whole movement, there's a specific call to action. They're looking for 1,000 founding contributors. That's the number. That's the critical mass of expertise they need to prove that a community-owned AI is not just possible, but that it's actually superior. So who are these 1,000 architects? Well, we are not talking about coders in a garage. No way. We're talking about linguists who know languages current AI has never even heard of, historians who carry stories that have never been digitized, economists who truly understand how local markets actually work, the storytellers, the teachers. These are the people who are the true foundation for this new kind of intelligence. So what's the ultimate vision here? What's the end game? It's not just about building a technically better AI. It's about creating a symphony of intelligence where it's not just a single voice, but where every culture gets to be heard. I absolutely love this metaphor they use. Forget the top-down pyramid structure. Instead, imagine a diverse, vibrant forest. Each tree is its own culture, right? With its own deep roots, its own history. But up above, all their branches intertwine to form this single, shared canopy. It's just a beautiful image of both independence and connection. And that brings us right back to where we started. We began with this idea of an AI that speaks with just one accent. The future this manifesto is trying to build, well, it's not one accent, one perspective, or one reality. It is a symphony.
So, this all leaves us with one really profound question to chew on. If we could actually build an AI that truly represents all of humanity, what would it say? What stories would it tell? That's the future this movement is trying to build.